What's good? Welcome to First Stream Podcast. On today's episode of First Stream Podcast, we will talk a little NFL draft. We're going to talk Final Four. MLB had their opening weekend. What is a torpedo bat? When we get said here, he's going to break this whole thing down for us. And then we still have our Final Four to discuss for our March Madness sports movie bracket. So we got a packed show for you guys. I hope y'all ready. Y'all know what time it is. Let's go.
It's wartime, baby. This what you signed up for. This what we worked hard for. You for. Y'all the first string. Y'all gotta go set the tone now. Hey, let's go. Lace them up. It's the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Cause it's time for the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. Lace them up. It's the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the First String Podcast Show. Imagine talking sports, having fun with the fam. At a starting lineup, first string is what you have. An entertaining stream with the Pro Bowl cast. When the viewers chime in, they gon' answer what you ask. Representing for the Queens, yeah, we got Lady A. A super knowledgeable woman who can break down any play. Said from the South, so he read GA. The Falcons, the Bulldogs, the whole Peach State. Drunk Uncle Al, only way you can describe him. Every time he crack the mic, you know he gon' be wildin'. Last but not least, it's my man Toothpick. Commanders is a squad and he the captain of the ship. So if you feel the vibe, go ahead and tune in. Like, subscribe, recommend to a friend. Nah, for real, like, subscribe, and recommend this to a friend. Hey, let's go. Cause it's time for the First String Podcast Show.
Welcome back to the First Stream Podcast. I'm your host, Toothpick. Of course, you can follow me on social media at Toothpick74. That's on X. Well, look, like I said, we have a packed show for you guys, but we were supposed to have David Harrison on today. David is not feeling well, so we're going to have David next week. We're still going to talk a little NFL. The NFL owners meetings are going on right now, or they were going on in Florida. Say it's coming in hot. Al's coming in hot, but you know HR is always on time. Well, sometimes on time, okay? So let's get HR in here, okay?
Don't do
HR.
that. Don't do that. HR is here and on time, okay?
Oh, okay, but you know what?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I forgot to do?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to say this. I forgot to say, thank you for watching First Stream Podcast. Please do not forget to like, subscribe to First Stream Podcast. Hit the bell to enable alerts for new content just like this. And the most important part is that you tell a friend to tell a friend about First Stream Podcast. So listen, it's just you and I right now, right? Okay, so let's be real, okay? Since it's just you and I and nobody else is really watching, right? Because, you know, our people come a little late. Can we cut up just a little bit?
I'm sorry now. What do you mean cut up? What define this? Define.
We are just going to speak some real truth and facts right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Without any repercussions right now. Can we do that?
No. No, we have to be on our best behavior.
Okay.
Per usual.
Well, what I would like to discuss is this, right? And I just want to get these raw feelings out. And you guys can as well, just as a fan of the NFL, right? Because I said we're going to talk a little NFL today. One of the things that was on the docket was the tush push, right? And I like what Mike Tomlin said about you being innovative. You don't want to punish people for being innovative, right? However, this play is pretty much automatic, and it used to be illegal to aid a runner, right? Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, Josh Allen, and the Buffalo Bills run this play more than anyone. right?
Correct.
And I mean, there's so many things that you can see wrong about this play that I feel like it's not a football play. And I got to say, Bart Scott made the best point about this play. The defense, it's an unfair play because the defense is not allowed to push their players, but the offense can. And I feel some kind of way about it because I went back and I looked at tush push plays to see if the defense had come up with that strategy to push back, to put somebody pushing behind those big defensive linemen up against those offensive linemen, and they can't. And then I get mad when I see Frankie Louvu getting penalized for jumping over the top. Like, what do you want the defense to do? Like, let's be real, NFL. This is an unfair play.
So Frankie, let's be real. You know, I love my cousin Frankie. Now, Frankie went across the line of scrimmage before he was supposed to.
Well, they were hard counting as well.
Correct. So, with that said, you know, in football or any sport, people are going to take whatever the rule is and they're going to push boundaries, right? Whatever the rule is, they're going to push it. So you have to understand that. In regards to the tush push, there's a reason why it's been tabled and why it's been delayed. Okay, so for those who don't know, the tush push was, you know, of course, up for discussion, and they tabled the decision on what they're going to do. Medical experts have come into play in reference to the tush push. If you don't know what the tush push is, it's when they push the offensive linemen usually push
the defensive, the tight end, the running backs, the wide receivers push the quarterback.
Yeah, they push the quarterback. And here's the thing that, for me, I feel like on a stats decision, when it comes to stats, if someone has a tush push, are you going to give them those yards? It wasn't them that got those yards. So there's a lot of discussion with the tush push. And honestly, we have this on various plays all the time. There's always going to be something that people are you can't please everybody. So you're going to have people on both sides arguing whether we should keep it, whether we should get rid of it, whatever. And I think that everyone should just chill out until the medical experts say something, because there may be something that they're going to bring to the table that has nothing to do with our conversation. The
brotherly shove is basically a QB sneak. No, it's not. What Tom Brady did was a QB sneak. Tom Brady was really good at quarterback sneaks. What the tush push, the brotherly shove, the Philly special, whatever Buffalo calls it, it's a rugby scrum, because you are literally pushing the runner from behind. Listen, aiding the runner used to be illegal. I'm going to give you another rule that people ignore to this day in the NFL. All right, but first, aiding the runner used to be illegal.
Right.
Because they said offensive linemen gain momentum and come down and would knock a defender off the pile. Right? How many times, and don't get me wrong, I like the play. I like when they do this. So I'm not being hypocritical, but I'm just highlighting this event. A running back gets stood up, and then you see 3 or 4 linemen come behind him and start pushing him, sometimes lifting him off of his feet, and they pretty much push him into the end zone. That used to be illegal, right? Because people would get hurt. But because you revised this rule, and now it's okay to aid a runner, now you're going to have someone get hurt again. That's not what we really want, because we know that football is a sport where injury is pretty much guaranteed, right?
Not necessarily guaranteed, but it's highly likely.
Injuries are going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. So here's the other rule that gets ignored, and it gets ignored a lot. I could say it gets ignored a lot, or it was ignored when Frankie Louvu was coming over the top. Anytime the quarterback goes under center and he places his hands under the center's
That's where you start.
Right? And he comes from under there. It is a false start.
Yeah.
But you saw Jalen Hurts back from under the quarterback, back from under the center, and there was no false start called. Right? You've seen this happen before when people go from under the center and then they all of a sudden go easy.
You're not supposed to do that. Right.
And they go to stand up and go to the shotgun. That's a false start on the quarterback. So we pick and choose what rules we want to follow, right? So I have to disagree. What Tom Brady said, what Tom Brady did was a quarterback sneak. The brotherly shove, the tush push, not a quarterback sneak. It's not a football play. And I'm not saying it just because it works against my team. I'm saying it because it's not a football play.
So you feel as though allowing that is not, it's not equal on both sides of the ball. Like
no, it's not.
You don't have a counter play on the other side is your concern.
You don't have the defense does not have the ability. Oh, he came in to say hello. Come on, Al. Come on. The defense does not have the ability to counter the play because you don't allow the linebackers and safeties to push the defensive linemen as well, right?
True.
They cannot do it. And then they're getting submarined under. So because if you don't have your legs, how can you push back?
Are you saying you agree? You think the tush push should be banned? I know I'm coming in late.
Yes, he's saying that.
So you're saying you think the tush push should be banned?
Yes.
So you're part of that. You're part of that. I'm gonna take my ball and go home crew, huh?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
I'm just saying. All I'm saying is, if you want to stop it. So let me ask you this: is the quarterback? It's not good for football. What you said is it's bad for.
No.
He said it's not quarterback play. It's not a quarterback play.
Even the quarterback.
I mean, not an NFL like a football.
It's
play.
not a fair play because the offense has the ability to stack up and push people. The defense does not have the ability to do the same thing.
Well, let me ask you this: is the quarterback kneel down an unfair play? I ain't got a chance to hit your quarterback to maybe make him fumble, but he gets to kneel down and stop the play and run the clock out. That's not a football play.
What are you talking about?
The quarterback kneel down
when the player gives themselves up. So it's the same thing as a running back.
Wait. Kneels down. I can't touch him.
You can't touch them. They're not giving themselves.
Is that a football play?
It is the same thing as a runner.
Gives you an advantage, though.
It's the same thing as a runner giving himself up in the field of play.
Okay.
But he's saying the quarterback. The quarterback is not giving himself up.
To take the ball and kneel down. That's not a football play.
It's the victory formation, Al.
But it's part of football, right?
It is.
So is the tush.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Where is the injustice in that play?
I can't hit your quarterback and make him fumble so I can get the ball back.
True. He can just
you give me you take away the opportunity for me to hit your quarterback and make him fumble potentially. You take it away.
Who says that if you
to get an interception? You're taking away a turnover.
You saying make a football play?
No, what we're actually doing is running out the clock. That's what's basically happening.
What I'm actually trying to do is run off the clock and get a first down.
Well, you know what you can do? You can jump off sides.
Jump off sides? What is that? I stopped the clock.
He's talking about for the defense. He's talking about for the defense.
The clock. It's going to stop the clock and it's going to give the offense 5 yards, but it will stop the clock.
No, but what it will do is you keep doing it, it will run the clock out.
But Pick, that's not good.
You're telling me to do a penalty.
Bill Belichick found a way to make that work for him.
You're telling me to do a penalty
that hurts the team.
Ball play. I'm just saying the tush push isn't a penalty.
I didn't say that. I said the tush push is unfair.
Stop it.
How can you listen, Al?
They did last year.
My point about the play.
Buffalo found a way to do it.
Wait. My point Buffalo runs the play better than Philly. No, Buffalo had an 88% when they ran the play though. They had an 88% chance of success. When the Philadelphia Eagles ran it, they had an 83% chance of success.
Okay, that may be
what I'm saying is this.
The percentages may be because of how many times they've done it.
If you make the play fair, where the defense then has the ability to push their defenders forward,
they do.
I would have nothing to say. They cannot.
Louvu was diving across the line.
He did what?
That was diving
across the line.
Did he push a defensive lineman forward?
If he'd dove.
No, Al, let's pay attention to the words being said here. The defense cannot cannot push the defensive lineman forward, but the offense has the ability to aid the runner and push them forward, but the defense can't.
Now, I'm sorry, you phrased that. That is true on like extra points and kicks. I know that,
and it's true. And it's true during regular plays as well.
So if I run a tackle twist and I push him in front of me to go around him,
no,
I understand.
No, he's saying for the play, like that is your play.
If Micah Parsons lined up behind Dallas's biggest defensive lineman and pushed him forward in the area where Jalen Hurts was coming behind his defensive lineman with his running back and tight ends pushing him too, that would be a penalty on the defense for aiding the defensive player.
I got a feel. I don't know this for a fact, and I can't dispute what you're saying. So I'm not going to say it's wrong. That's a penalty. But what I'm telling you, I've never seen it called. If they're running the tush push and somebody's pushing the D tackle into the center guard or tackle to get to that quarterback. But here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you why that scenario wasn't make sense though, Pick. And what would be the benefit of me pushing my tackle into you? I'm trying to get to the ball.
Because
the mentality is different, Pick.
No. Here is the counter, right? The counter is this: those offensive linemen now have people behind them. They have a quarterback behind them. They have a linebacker behind them,
running back
pushing up against another man that's maybe 350, 380 pounds. But this one man has 600, 800 pounds coming towards him. And nobody's backing him up to push him forward. There's no more strength versus strength. It's not one-on-one. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, it's not even 2-on-1. It's 5-on-3. That's what I'm saying, because they don't have the ability to push back. If you make it fair with the defense,
he's saying push back with the same type of force. Not they're pushing back, but it's them singular pushing back.
I get what he's saying.
If you gave them that ability,
you have the advantage from the offense to begin with because you know the snap count. So you already have the advantage. Yeah. So you can get off first in a sense. So you're already at a disadvantage, but that's almost every play. But like I said, if that was the case, Pitt, what you're saying, it would never get stopped, but it does. So what happens on the times where it gets stopped?
What do you mean?
On the times that it gets stopped, what happens? Hey, Sid, what's up, Sid?
When it gets stopped,
some knowledge. So when it gets stopped, what happens?
When it gets stopped, 9 times out of 10, it's pretty much not getting stopped.
I saw it get stopped 2 times in a row.
Listen,
I think it was you that did it.
Like I said, Buffalo did it at a 90% clip, and pretty much Philly did it at an 85% clip. So for those few times that it was stopped,
be at 50% in games. We've seen it being under 50% in games.
It's over 50%. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about in particular games. In one particular game, we've seen it be at a 50% clip or close to it.
And hold on, wait.
No, what I'm saying is that not true? Is that not true? Don't give me that one. Is that not true?
Listen to what you're saying. You're saying in one game, it got stopped 50% of the time, right? But through an entire season, it was successful 83% of the time or 88% of the time. So you are cool with that 50%. You do bad math. You get a bad math.
What I'm saying is stop it.
Bad math.
He's trying to say it's possible. He's trying to say it's possible.
It's stoppable. I'm saying stop it. Don't take the ball and go home. Stop it. That's what I'm saying, Pick. What I'm saying is you haven't answered my question, though, Pick. I said, so what happens when they stop it?
What happens when they stop it? Hey, what happens when they stop it? 9 times out of 10, when they stop it.
Don't give me the one play when they stop it. What happens, Pick?
If they could stop it, don't you think more teams, if someone found a way to successfully stop it, more teams will copy that? This is a copy league. This is a copycat league, right?
Right. Pick. Hey, lady, can you help Toothpick, please? What happens when they stop the tush push?
It stops.
Thank you. And what happens to the ball?
It depends. The ball could be, they could fumble, they could do
no.
Does
the ball, if it's 4th down, doesn't it go back to the other team?
Hold
said
on, wait,
what?
wait. They
If
don't
it's fourth
always run
down?
the tush push
Oh
on
yeah,
fourth
that's a
down. They don't
turnover.
always
Third
run
down,
it
they
on
have the
third down
option to
out.
do another play, right?
Yeah,
They'll
just like
do
a
it on
normal
third
play.
down out. They'll do it on third down out with
I
any.
just
Hey,
said
I'm gonna
that.
tell you what. Philly would do the tush push on third and 3. They would do the tush push
Yeah.
And they'll
on
do it on 4th
third
and 1
and 6,
too.
Yes,
and
you're
they
right.
would get it.
And sometimes they would get stopped.
Yeah.
Sometimes they would, and guess what they would do? They would run it again because
Okay.
they were
Sometimes
picking up
they would
those
get
Run it back.
yards.
stopped, and sometimes they would make it.
Run it right back. Hey, matter of fact, we're not even sitting in the signal. We just gonna tell you, run it again.
How does
Because
that
they
make
know
any
they can
difference?
stop.
How does that make it any different than a fullback lead, old school fullback lead? How many times before the tush push, if you ain't get a fullback on third goal for the one, they
Right?
run a fullback lead, didn't get it. What would they do? Line up and do what?
Run it again.
Thank you. So why should they do it
Well,
with the tush push?
you asking what's the difference? The difference is now we are aiding the runner.
I agree, but it's part of football.
For right now, it's
For
part
right
of
now,
football.
it's part of the rule.
But I mean, I expressed this. One of the only issue I really have, well, I mean, obviously there is a medical factor that I would, you can get somebody hurt.
That hadn't been introduced, Lady A, into the factors for getting rid of it because they couldn't show considerable.
They did. That's why it's
they
delayed
tabled it.
now.
They tabled it
That's the whole
until
reason
May.
why it's delayed, because the medical experts want to come in and have that conversation.
Right.
But on a stats manner, I look at it as far as like if you have a quarterback, or I mean just anyone who benefits from the tush push. If I'm holding the ball and someone else is pushing me, those are not my yards.
Okay.
Those are not my yards. That's not me getting, I'm not the one getting the momentum, but the person carrying the ball is going to get the yards. And I feel like that's for me. I feel like that is dishonest in reference to
Can I
that.
ask you a question? What you're saying, Lady A?
Mhm.
Now, I understand what you're saying. It's a very good point. Now, it'll be hard to discern who those yards will go to.
Right.
So pick if from your scenario. So do you feel like, let's say I run a play. Let's say I run a play from the 8-yard line. I make a couple jukes, I get around. Then when I get to the goal line, I hit a stalemate with the opposing safety. And then behind that comes one of my linemen that bangs me into the end zone.
Yep.
They call it a touchdown.
Yep.
Should that not be a touchdown?
Well, I like what you're saying because I said this earlier, and I said that used to be illegal because they said offensive linemen had momentum and they came and they would injure people. But when they said that aiding the runner was legal again, now that play comes back into play.
Yes.
So I said, now what'll happen is this. I said what'll wind up happening is when, because I said we all like those plays because when you see that running back still keep his legs turning and then those offensive linemen come banging, and they get into the end zone, I said I get excited about it. But someone getting injured and hurt will stop that again. They'll say, hey, you know what? We got to take it out again.
Let me ask you this, Pick. When did you become a lawyer? Because your play on words are wonderful. I'm ask you one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Is that play legal?
That play is legal.
Okay,
now.
so do you want to make that play illegal?
That needs to be illegal as well.
What needs to be illegal as well?
It's aiding the runner.
What did they teach you in high school? You keep moving what?
Keep moving your feet.
Thank you.
Keep moving your feet. Use the
If you're not moving your feet, that's a problem. That's where it becomes a big problem.
Tell you what.
Until they blow the whistle. Keep them jokers moving.
To the whistle.
That's why I used to take people's
Let me ask
out.
you a question. Okay, for anyone who has played football or just involved in any situation where something came behind you and pushed you to increase your momentum. Have you benefited from the tush push or anything? You could be in the swimming pool, somebody come up behind you going fast, and anything, or a skating rink or anything like that. Have you ever benefited from that? And then that's my first question. But then if so, how did you feel during that moment?
Can I speak real quickly? Because I have experience from this.
Okay, go ahead.
From a football perspective. I'm not going to speak on roller skates. I'm not going to speak if I'm looking over a cliff. I'm not going to speak if I'm looking over a bridge. I'm going to speak if I'm trying to get into that box.
There you go.
You don't know it. You know you get in there, you feel it, but you don't know it's part of the play.
Yep.
There's so much stuff going on around you. You don't really feel that unless you get injured, which that's something separate. But we're not talking about injury. We're talking about the momentum from behind. Push. You honestly feel you did it on your own. And they just gave you that extra boot that knocked the guys in front of you. So technically, you do feel it. You don't feel it as part of any type of play of saying, "Oh, they helped me." You're just saying we're getting into this, and that's the whole mentality of football.
Right.
Yep.
We're getting into this box.
We're getting to that box. Yep.
With your team.
Box. So by any means, we're getting into it. If I need
So,
let me speak on that too.
Pick, is it the same for you?
Let me speak on that. I'm gonna say it this way.
Ahead, please.
For a person that was a little light in the behind,
He needed that push, but go ahead.
He felt it. He felt it.
Al, like you said, you meet that safety, you spin off of him, and I can honestly remember Jesse. Remember Jesse? I cannot remember Jesse's last name. I can honestly remember Jesse coming up behind me and hit me with his shoulder, and my feet came up in the air, and I just floated across that line. Right?
And how did you feel in that moment?
I felt the same way I always felt when I got hit.
Did you get a touchdown?
I was catching some wind.
Did you get those yards back? Did you get those yards back? Because you were aided and abetted.
Oh no! Listen. Oh wait! Listen. I hit that safety. I rolled, and as I'm moving, Jesse's hitting me and pushing me forward. I get it. I understand. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that play, the aiding the runner, is not a great play, and everybody gets to celebrate things like that. But what I'm saying is that's a byproduct of the tush push and the aiding the runner being taken out of the rule book. So now you can aid the runner down the field.
Two questions, lady. I'm sorry. I don't want to monopolize everybody's time. But I just want to ask this one question. Thank you. Hey, go on, see. Shots fired. I'm sorry. Real quick, shots fired. Would you have a problem with this play if it had been initiated or created under a Commander's offensive scheme? Should it be banned then? If the Commanders were the one running this play at an 85-90% clip?
Honestly, Al, I have to say
no. If
this was the Commanders and they was doing it at a 90% clip,
you would not get rid of it.
I probably would.
Oh my God. Thank you, Ron O'Neal. Thank you, Ron O'Neal. There you go. Thank you, Ron O'Neal.
Pick ain't believe it. Pick ain't believe it. He said it, but he ain't believe it. Pick ain't believe it.
Nope. Someone said nope. He said nope.
Because when you said it, you said I probably would. You didn't believe it when you said it.
Honestly, man. Like I pointed out this, Al. I pointed out that quarterbacks come from under the center and they don't call a false start. If it's against the rules,
I got more of a problem with that than I do with the tush push. Because that can induce someone to jump off sides. So I agree with you.
Like Frankie.
Quarterbacks can move back and forth. Now they can't go hut and move their head, but they can walk up, they can walk back, they can almost and do it real slick to the point where it can entice a defensive lineman or someone outside looking in to jump off sides.
Yeah, that's what they're doing it for.
That's exactly what I said. I said they choose which rules they want to enforce, more than others. And this is what we're talking about right here, actually, Cuzzo, is if you take the aiding the runner out, you are taking that play out that me and Al just talked about. That goes away as well. This is part of that rule. You know what I mean? So when the medical people come in to speak on it, will they be speaking about the injuries from the tush push, or will they be speaking about the injuries from aiding the runner?
It's probably all of it. You can't discuss one without the other.
Right.
And that's kind of why I also, when I asked you guys, have you ever benefited from something else other than yourself, pushing you to move you forward? If you've ever been to, and Al, you were saying you didn't experience that like at a skating rink. The only time you really do get scared when you have something like that is when it is at an extreme speed or, something that is very clear. Like if you think that you're doing it yourself, you're not going to be scared because the chances of you getting injured is lower than if it was like significant. Like Pick said he was small and Pick, but he said he was small and somebody much bigger came behind him and pushed him and he kind of floated. So in a situation like that, when someone is bringing a force that may have been greater, much greater than his, like that person like hit him, he was spinning, all that stuff that can cause you to have greater force, then that's when the injuries come in, the bad ones. So I do think that is something that they're going to discuss from all aspects. Something else other than the actual runner, the person who's holding the ball. When that happens, when you have something else coming in to push them forward, give them momentum, that's when it is a problem. So I think it and honestly, it probably will get banned.
You think
You're
so?
watching First Stream. You're watching First Stream Podcast. We were supposed to have David Harrison on today. David Harrison is sick right now, and he's going to be with us next week to talk Washington Commanders, a little bit of draft, and what we should be looking for then. For right now, we're talking NFL and what's happening or what was happening at the owners' meeting that has been going on for the last couple of days.
Say it. Are you for or against it?
I'm on both sides of this.
Ooh.
I mean, it's a good play.
No. You know,
stop
no.
it.
You don't get
stop
You can't get away with that one. You can't get away with that.
Wait a minute.
You heard that?
Let me finish.
How you gonna on both sides?
We've seen people stop it. Not everybody can do it. Not every team can do it. There are other teams that have tried to do it, but just they've perfected it. Now it's like Lady A said, they're gonna be looking for injuries coming off of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when they had the pro set. Until you can stop it, you keep running.
Now let me say that's an interesting comment right there. No twist within 5-yard line. Now, if you're doing it for first down, I might can understand that, but I could. Now it'll be difficult. Well, I guess we're a certain way. Certain things you can't. It'll be if the rule's a rule. That's not a bad suggestion, I would say.
But what if you can get a first down inside the 5?
No, you got to find another play. If you make it simple, no tush push within the 5 yards, but the 5-yard in, no tush push.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I don't know how they would do that, but I mean, I know how they would do it, but that's an interesting. I think that's
mm-hmm.
Hey, Sid,
and that's right.
Sorry.
Run the ball.
I'm sorry, Sid, but I'm not going to allow you to play Switzerland on that.
But Pick, I don't really have a stance on it either.
We're going to get to you, ma'am. But Sid said he on both sides. I'm trying to figure out how you playing offense and defense. Sid, you could play one or the other.
Well, we beat them last year, so I mean,
Travis Hunter.
What do you want to say?
You for it or against it? Take a stand.
Apparently, he didn't hear me. Al.
You stopped it. You stopped it.
I don't know what he's saying.
You stopped it too. Did you say it? Didn't y'all stop it?
But look, my team was able to stop it too. So my thing is,
we stopped it in the second game.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to you is that Pick is there are arguments on both sides that are extreme. They're very strong.
Right.
So a lot of times when you have strong arguments on both sides, that's why I said it probably would get scrapped. Because those arguments on both sides are so strong, and you might as well just scrap it under those circumstances.
I mean, look at this. Here's another one. Look at the personnel exchange. Offense is going fast.
Mm-hmm.
They don't bring anybody in. The defense is trying to substitute. But if the offense is substitute, the defense can take their time going off the field, coming back on the field.
Yeah.
Because they have to give them a chance to substitute.
Exactly.
They came up with that rule after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't start that way. If you ain't on the field, you just ain't on the field. We finna hike this ball around this play.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say something. What you're saying, Lady A, the reason I think they won't scrap it because every team's not doing it.
And that's true.
Every team did it, and it was that successful, it will become okay. This is a cheat, almost like a cheat code. But every team doesn't do it.
But see, that's why it'd be easier. It's easy to implement a rule when everybody's not doing it. It's
I think it's
easy. It's
easy
only going to affect a
when
couple.
everyone is doing it because you can justify removing it because the evidence would say this is unfair because everyone's doing it and everybody's getting away with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it's almost like shoplifting. Some people can steal real good.
You know what?
See, hold on. Here we go. Listen, let's put this First String Podcast poll to the test, okay? We need a 2/3. We need a 2/3 majority vote.
Oh, I can't.
We need a 2/3 majority vote. All right. So here it is. You either say for or against. All right. We're going to take this vote right now. I understand that some of you guys are on Facebook, some of you guys are on X, but we need this vote on our YouTube channel.
So drop
it. For those of you that are on our YouTube channel, please place for or against in there. You need a 2/3 majority rule to ban the tush push. If you don't get that, it stays on the books and it's still a legal play.
Facebook and LinkedIn can comment, and it will be able to see it from here. So that's
and Lady A, and to your point and to what we were just saying, you almost have to treat it almost like the old extra point.
We got one for against.
That's why they got rid of the old extra point.
Yep.
It was too easy. Everybody was getting the extra point. It didn't make it was challenging enough. It wasn't enough data to say it was missing. And you almost if everybody did it and it became that easy to get the first downs, I think they would stop it.
Well,
but
so
everybody does it.
But you gotta also remember that the league is they're also image focused, right? They keep getting under the limelight. They're putting the limelight about player safety. If someone brings up that any type of assistance to a runner could cause an injury, they're going to really weigh heavily on that. So that's another reason why I think it might be.
Over an overabundant amount of evidence because every player person can get injured. That's football.
Right.
Let me answer this question right here. Let me answer this question. So if you're for the tush push still being a legal play, say for.
Okay.
If you're against it being a legal play, it's simple, say against. If you're for it, type in for. If you're against it, type in against.
You're forcing me and Said to make a stance.
I am. And Said has made his play. He said he's for the tush push.
Well, in that case, I'm going to put
Garage Jim said he's for the tush push. Truth be told, said he's against the tush push. So Lady A is going to vote against the tush push.
No, she's not. She's too much of a football lover.
She's going to vote against the tush push. No.
That was not Lady A that said that. That's not Lady A did not put that in there. So I don't know. I don't know who did that, but
Lady A's against.
When Lady A votes, she doesn't vote for any of those accounts that are listed. So stop that. Somebody is trying to, somebody's trying to take my voice.
Somebody's trying to take your voice? Absolutely for. Absolutely for.
I say against, only because it's too many doubts around it.
Ron says for.
And you're pushing the narrative. You're pushing it.
Hey, I'm not pushing. I haven't even voted.
No, what I'm saying is you're pushing us to vote. Is what I'm saying. You're like,
he's for the brotherly shove. So listen. So if First String
Podcast, that's one play, Cuzzo. You gotta talk about all of it. All of it has to be under one scope. It's an assisted play.
So if it was up to First String Podcast, the brotherly shove, the tush push would be legal in this up and coming NFL season. We have to see what the NFL says in the May meetings. Hey, let's move on to our next subject here.
Yes, we spent too much time. Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about. Yeah, Lady A, thank you. Right. Let's talk a little bit about the NCAA men's tournament this week. We had our Elite Eight all the way down to our Final Four. Surprise, surprise. In the men's bracket, it was number one seed that won out. Duke, Auburn, Florida. What was our last team?
Any perfect brackets in our bracket? Any perfect brackets in our
There are no perfect brackets,
No.
but I can tell you,
Any
There are
perfect
no
Final
perfect
Fours.
bracket.
I'm sorry.
I can tell you,
any perfect Final Fours in our group.
No.
I think Ron O'Neal may absolutely have all four of his Final
he
Four
just-
teams in there right now. I'm gonna check, but
He did
my
the
question
auto.
to you guys, my question to everyone on the panel and in the chat is: how did you feel about this Final Four? Like, was it everything you thought it was going to be? These last two days of games going from the Elite Eight to the Final Four, was it everything you thought it was going to be, or did it let you down a little bit? Say it. How you feeling?
You know, I'm going to tell you put it right there. I'm not really a college basketball fan. Sorry, I'm not. But it was interesting seeing that all the number ones slid through. Although I did watch the controversial game with Duke that everybody's talking about. I did watch that game, and I'm on their side. Refs suck. I mean, I watched, like I said, I didn't watch too many games. I'm not gonna say in line said that I didn't watch too many games, but just happened to watch the one game where it was like, that really wasn't a foul. Is anybody seeing this but me? And apparently other people watching as well, because as soon as the game was over, they was like,
yep,
do this, you know, they helped Duke get through again. And you know,
oh no. Al, ask that question again that you asked.
Which one?
About the brackets.
Is there a perfect bracket?
Perfect Final Four brackets?
No.
That'd be one Lady A.
I knew it.
Auburn, Florida, Duke, Houston.
Yeah, I knew that Florida one hurt me. I had
you got a perfect bracket?
Perfect Final Four. Yes.
Oh, perfect Final Four.
Yeah, that's why it'd be hard to catch you because we got the same champion too. Her little following myself.
No, mine was done first.
I don't know about all that, man.
Yes, I know.
I ain't checking
no
Ron O'Neal.
Me and Pick were the only two people who had put a bracket in when I put mine in. So thank you.
Ron O'Neal had Michigan over Florida. Oh. So he has 3 of his Final Four teams in.
Mm-hmm.
Ron O'Neal, that's Ron O'Neal there. Droopy has a perfect Final Four. Hold on, wait. Yep, nope. He has a perfect Final Four bracket. He has
my paper.
Yep, he has no. I stand corrected. I'm sorry. He had Michigan. He had Michigan State beating Auburn. Mm-hmm. So he has 3 out of 4 as well. Yep. The other ones got in for him. Tribe. Let's see. The Tribe picked.
That would be me. Tribe Beast. I got 3 to 4.
Yeah, you picked Maryland.
I had Maryland over Florida. Yeah,
you had Maryland. Yeah. So that's 3 out of 4.
That would have made sense though.
The Big O had Iowa State and Michigan, so that didn't work out for you. He has Florida, boom. He has 3 out of 4 as well. Then that would be Toothpick next, and he has St. John's. I don't know where that came from.
You hit auto.
Yeah, St. John's. And so he has 3 out of 4 as well. Nope. I got 3 out of 4 because I had Auburn, St. John's, Duke, and Houston.
I got a question for y'all that's been a hot topic out here. What do you? I think I know you all's feelings, but I'll let you all respond. What are your thoughts, shall I say, on this transfer portal being open during the actual season?
It shouldn't.
Before the season is over in football and
basketball.
It should not. It should be open after the championship game.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't like it.
Championship game. Because I'm going to tell you why. There are coaches that move around, right? Coaches that move around, they get fired. They don't make the tournament. They do this, they do that, right? But if my coach, and it just happened to Maryland, if my coach is literally in the Sweet 16 and he's on the phones making calls.
Agents are making the calls. Go ahead.
Agents, whoever, contacting the kids in the transfer portal. What school is he recruiting for? His up-and-coming school or the school that he's at.
Well, look at Wade from McNeese State. He had taken another job, and his team was in the tournament.
He did.
That happens, but I think that it's too much of a distraction for coaches, players, everything. It's a big distraction. If you're trying to be focused on playing for a championship, like, what are we doing here? Like, are we focused on the game, or are we focused on where we're going to go to next? Kind of like what Al is saying.
I guess I see a comment from Truth Be Told, 2-year commitment. I like that for the players. I don't know if he's talking about the coach or the players, but I like that because this NIL thing is getting so out of control.
It is.
Where they can just keep, 1 year contracts provides no commitment or no sustainability or anything for a team. And I think it's unfair to the schools and the money that these kids are being paid on one. No one gives 1 year deals of this magnitude like this in any professional sports. And this is what college sports is now. It
ain't amateur sports no more.
Not amateur sports anymore.
They say literally the kids that enter the transfer portal, and Say it probably can speak to this better than anybody because Georgia stay in the portal.
They stay shipping the center though. They stay shipping the center out there in them Georgia dogs.
It's not true. Yeah, I'm not to ask you nothing.
They don't even go to the campuses anymore, right? Yeah. They just is how much are you paying me to come to your school? So I'm not
and
seeing.
I'll work it out. That's how they do.
I'm not seeing the facilities. I'm not seeing.
I can't speak on that. They do come to our campuses. I don't know about y'all. They come to our campus before they're signed. They come to our campus before they make their commitment, and because he tells them when he comes to the campus, he gives them an idea of what it's like. I should have taken a screenshot of this. One of the incoming freshmen for this year said that when I reported to camp here in Georgia, I was in shape, so I thought. Until I got into the college, training
regimen,
and he said he was a step behind the whole time. There are even guys who come to our team who are 4th year, 5th year seniors struggle to get in shape for this. So they know ahead of time when they come to Georgia. They know ahead of time.
You said it's different down here.
We want you to be here.
Huh? He said, I don't know about y'all.
You saying it's different.
It's different down there in the dog.
That's why they get it.
No, I'm just saying you said it's different down in that Georgia dog country. Huh?
Because they got a whole machine.
When you have NFL scouts that routinely come through and say because of the way they practice,
we draft their players.
We can draft a player there and know they understand how we're going to practice in the NFL, even though they don't practice as hard in the NFL like they do in college.
They do not. Listen. That's why they get them in December. That's why you get them kids that early graduate and go to Georgia.
Yes.
So that by the time spring come, they not that spring ball comes, they not a step behind. They not.
I did that.
Right.
I think graduation is overrated, but in getting into school, not just to graduate because you're going to graduate. But I mean, when I say that, I mean that last semester. Because my last semester of high school, I had like bag mitten, and I had my class schedule was a joke because I had done everything I needed to graduate. So I wasn't like waiting. I wasn't waiting to get credit. And that's not true for everybody, but those
they didn't do that for us back then, Al.
I got my schedule right. I don't know about your schedule. My schedule was right.
In high school,
I didn't need to graduate. My senior year after.
I was in classes with freshmen. My senior year of high school. I took health again and gym again. Let
me straighten something because I think garage life misunderstood. I don't mean graduating high school is overrated. What I mean is, that last 5 months that you spend getting ready for graduation when you've already completed the requirement to get to graduate. If you can get to college and get in a college regimen and start your classes there and start preparing your body and practicing on a college football schedule, that is underrated how important that is, as opposed to finishing up in high school where you have no more eligibility to play and you're just basically biding time to walk across the stage. That's for your parents. It's for yourself. You can come back and do all that. I just think that it's more important if you're trying to be, especially if you're trying to be a professional athlete or going to one of these major college programs. It puts you so much in front of the gun as opposed to behind the 8 ball in regards to getting ready for the next season and being on the level you need to be prepared to play college football. Because I don't care what level you come from. There's a difference between Division I college football and high school.
No, there's a difference between Division II, right? I like what Ron O'Neal is saying here. Let's talk about this one because we saw this absolutely play out on the lady side, where Notre Dame's guard has her eligibility. She could either go to the WNBA, right, or stay in college another year. She entered the transfer portal, and she's about to get paid because, hey, what does Bucket say? What did Bucket say on your podcast there, Lady A? Not everyone goes pro.
Yep.
She said not everyone goes pro, and that's what Ron O'Neal is saying here. Give them an extra couple mil, so when they go out into that real life, they know how to handle some things. So how do we feel about that? I can't remember her name, but the young lady, y'all know who I'm talking about, from Notre Dame. She chose
today. She chose to go back for a senior year and take NIL money as opposed to going to enter into the WNBA draft. Yes.
Yeah, which is a pay cut.
Well, right. And that's sad, but that's a whole nother topic that we've touched on before. But there's nothing, that's the problem with these NIL deals in regards to women's sports.
But
that's a pay cut. Going pro is not the ideal situation anymore.
Right. And they have themselves to blame a little bit for that.
Who has themselves? The women, the athletes?
Let me just say, not women athletes in general, but I know she's not gonna lie. I'm gonna get fined for this, and I'm gonna be tough.
I'm looking.
I know she's ready. She ready to pounce on me. You see how she ready to pounce? But I'm saying is all that hating they were doing on Caitlin Clark last year, Angel Reese, a lot of the new guns that were coming into the WNBA that was pushing the money up for everybody. And everybody was getting into a tizzy about the fact that somebody was getting more TV time, more airtime. I talked to my cousin today just about this very exciting, how they should be riding that golden goose as opposed to trying to cover up that goose and don't let her shine. The more eyes that are on the TV means more money for everybody.
Right. But this problem goes way before.
Way back before. I'm just saying for future revenue, they can change the future of that being this.
I mean, in reference to, I don't think that it's the athlete's fault. It's not the athlete, because the stuff that you're talking about is truthfully, it was pushed in the media than anything else. That's where it was pushed. It was pushed in the media more than anything.
Like you would see, even with the Olympic situation, Caitlin Clark should have been on that Olympic team. If you put that old, but
you're saying Caitlin Clark should have been on the Olympic team. Why?
What guard was she taking off?
Would have brought more eyes to the TV.
So this is not what it's about. When it comes to the Olympics,
Taurasi, who got 2 minutes a game in it.
But hold on, when it comes to
Diana Taurasi,
she didn't play
because she's a goat.
Sit at home. Go out there, pass. Go eat some grass.
She's doing
something. Everybody on your Olympic team. Here's my thing: you're not telling the men's sports to put a player on a team just because they're going to bring eyes. You want them to put people on the team because they're good. Am I right?
Oh, LeBron was on the last Olympic team.
And people fuss about it. Am I right?
And he played.
Why do you have SGA on there?
But hold on.
Why SGA wasn't on the team?
But that's not the suggestion that Al is making. That's what I'm saying.
But the suggestion is he's out, put him out the pasture. He's 50 years old on the last
best player. Diana Taurasi didn't even play in half the game.
So what I'm saying to you is that the suggestion isn't for a men's team to have someone on that team just because they have eyes.
I only say this for this reason. I'm sorry. I only say it for this reason. The men don't have problem getting eyes. The women if they don't have the same objective because they're not on the same platform. The men already have the eyes. No matter who you put on that team, from LeBron to Embiid to Jason Tatum or whatever
your boy from
you're going to get the same number of eyes.
Indianapolis, your boy from Indianapolis didn't get a lot of time.
He did, but the women need the eyes.
But the women Olympic team
didn't need no eyes.
And
They
I'm
haven't
just saying,
lost a gold medal.
I'm not talking about your top
Right.
8
Tell it,
players,
yeah.
though, man. I'm not talking about your top 8 players, Lady A, who contribute the most of your minutes. But them players 9 through 12 that are marginal, why not put her there to get that extra attention?
Because those 8 players are not going to play every second of the game.
But no, she still can play. She still was better than a Tarazi who couldn't play, who was 40-something years old.
Let me tell you something. Let me say this. When it comes to eyes, and I'm gonna say this because Pick, you ain't asked me about the Final Four, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
Okay, my bad.
I'm gonna say it anyway. The reason why, when it comes to championships in the past few years, the women's championship, NCAA championship games have had more viewership than the men is because it is predictable. And I can say that the men is predictable. It's not exciting anymore. That's what. Come on, Final Four. Everybody is a number one.
But do you think? Me ask you this, though, Lady A. I agree with that. But do you agree that part of the reason because the women actually stay for longer, so people actually know who they are? Nobody knows who's playing. You might, other than Cooper Flag, name and about 3 other players. Name someone named that's a household name, or that they may know. They not us, because we watch the basketball outside of say it, but that would know who's in this Final Four. Name 2 players from each of the teams. You self-proclaim you don't watch like that.
But hold on, Al. Right now, the women they have more viewership than the men. So you can ask people that now.
I know more women.
That's what I'm saying. So right now, it's so as time goes on, you're going to want to follow these particular players that you're watching in NCAA. That is the hopes. That's the hope and dreams of female, female sports. Okay, so women's sports. That's the goal. Like, okay, you see that we're good. You see that we can be entertaining. So watch us and carry it along. So it is a problem that they're not their pay is not. No, it's not even half.
It's not sufficient, and that way it should be on par.
To be real, right? Let's be honest. The WNBA, Father of the Year. Every time he keep doing that, every time trying to outdo us in Father of the Year. Listen, but to be honest, that disparity between the men's game and the women's game, that's about to catch up, because if you look at these next couple of, it is. Listen, the women's game has gotten a ton better.
Correct, but it's not even half, Pick. It's not even half.
I still understand, and they're still playing in smaller. They're still playing in smaller venues than the men, right? They had to upgrade. So hold on. I'm glad you pointed that out, because this past season they had to go and move to the larger venues as a result of because of what Al's talking about, because of Caitlin Clark, because of Angel Reese. So what happens next year when you introduce a Paige Beckers, who's a walking bucket? When you introduce some of these other women, the center from UCLA, right? What happens when you start introducing these people and they don't all wind up going to the same town and city? And now the whole product gets better. Everyone was arguing about Magic and Bird last year, and I'm talking about Caitlin Clark, and I'm talking about Angel Reese. Michael Jordan was still in college, and you could call it whoever you want. You could say that's Paige Beckers. You could say that's what's your girl that goes to USC. You could say Juju. You could say even the girl that transferred from LSU that went to TCU. She's a walking bucket. She didn't know she had that game until her coach showed her that she should shoot more. So these women are coming, and it's not just going to be one or two here or there. They are coming. Come on, Lady A, what you got to say?
I got something I want to say. Because Alvin, you made a good point. Okay.
My goodness. Let me get close to this.
These women are staying in college longer. Yes, they are graduating. They have their degrees, and then they go on to play professional basketball.
Yes.
Let's do the math here. If you're a college graduate and you have a degree, most of the time you're looking for a certain pay, right? Especially if you have experience in your field. So why is it that if you graduate and that's why a lot of really good college players do not go into the WNBA, because they can take their degree and go make way more money somewhere else,
or go overseas,
not playing basketball.
Well,
or like you said,
also,
going in overseas and playing basketball. Because I'm gonna be real with you, I know in my field I can make more money with my experience alone. Scrap the college degree. Experience alone, I can make more money than the WNBA players.
But we also have to think about this too. The men collective bargaining agreement is a one and done deal. The women, I believe, is a minimum of 3 years.
But also
because they was going overseas. They had no WNBA to go to. I think Al, did me and you talk about this, or was it me and you?
We may have, but I think one thing I wanted to say to you about that is the same thing that helps the women hurts the women. And I mean, by them, they got more notoriety by becoming under the NBA umbrella. So you were part of a huge conglomerate, the NBA. But now you got to get those players or those owners to give up a bigger piece of the pie to supplement your salaries. And you're only talking about 12 teams. So once again, you're still talking about 30 teams, NBA men, as opposed to 12 teams, WNBA women. And you're under an umbrella that's going to, like I said, keep their foot on your neck. But they're not going to be just willing to give up a bigger piece to you all for revenue sharing to that WNBA under that umbrella so that you can pay your players more. They're going to say, go find an endorsement deal and find it elsewhere, because these men aren't giving up the bigger. You may get a little bit, but you make considerable change to close that gap where it should be, what Lady A is talking about, or where you're saying, I'm telling you it won't be, because the average NBA player makes, I think, about $12 million, as opposed to the highest paid WNBA player makes maybe $200.
And when you're a rookie, you're making around 85 a year,
as opposed to Bronny James, who got a guaranteed rookie deal for $8 million for 4 years, or 7.9 for 4 years.
And
that's a whole team.
So you're saying that now they're under the NBA.
They always have been. That's
right. I was going to say in '96 when they were created. And notice I said 96. That's almost 30 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So in 96, when they were created, they were under the NBA. Right. So I'm trying to understand what the problem is.
It's the organization, the WNBA.
The problem is what Al said, viewers. If you can't get people to watch, you can't get people to come to the games, you're not going to grow this game. The fact that you have these women, I'm not sure who started it, because it started on the men's side, NFL side, where the dressing, people were looking at what they was dressing, wearing to the game. So these women have gotten that, and some of them coming to the game, they dress to the T.
Yep.
And then they're dropping names. Oh, this is by such and such. This is by such and such.
Yep.
So now they're getting endorsements that way.
Yes.
But it's only because you've got more eyes, and that's the thing. If
So,
they can't, the play has to be presented well enough to get eyes.
So let me ask y'all this, because I'm gonna be real with you. I was a WNBA fan from the beginning. I have my Washington Mystics ticket from the first game I went to, their first season. When the league first started, I remember seeing promotions about it.
We got Knicks.
But then it dropped off significantly. There were years where you would not hear anything about the WNBA. You had to seek it out. You wouldn't just watch TV and see a commercial. So while we're sitting here talking about viewership, let's not pretend that the WNBA got promoted the way that it should, because we've had some very good players throughout the years.
I remember Shamika Holtzclaw being I used to see her in the Safeway in Bowie all the time to shop for groceries.
Cynthia Cooper.
And then I told you I wanted to talk about Candace Parker. She's about to get her jersey retired. these are really good players. And you didn't see promotions for them. You did not see the WNBA being promoted the way that they were. Like we mentioned, for the Olympics, have they lost?
No.
Exactly. Why are they not being promoted in the same capacity that the men are being promoted? Because that will affect the viewership.
You said viewership though.
Right, but in order to get that viewership, you have to promote. If you have a new league, you guys gotta forgive me because I'm in marketing, but you have a new league, right? You have to get that information out there.
But
you have to
consistently. This though, supply and demand, lady. You're like I say, you're marketing. If there's no demand for it, you can't push for so much supply.
So when they dropped off on the marketing very early on, keep in mind, when they dropped off on, it's not necessarily because there was a demand. And the reason why it was a demand, because they had the players and their players were going overseas. Right? Yeah. So then they created the league because there was demand, but the marketing was not done.
But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right when you say they didn't promote the league properly. That's without a doubt. We're just starting to see the push. They've always had great players in WNBA, but we're just starting to see them pushed doing NBA games, commercials, and showing them with NBA players.
And we know, right. And I'm
things that are hoping to kind of cross culture those followers. You're trying to get the NBA followers to watch NBA because most WNBA fans already watch the NBA.
Right.
But the problem is the NBA fans don't watch
the WNBA. So let me say this. I'm going to say something that might make some people uncomfortable, and I'm not really caring, but I'm going to be real with you. The reason why we see these things now is because, unfortunately, our society, it's a culture for us to not pay attention to a lot of women until you see drama. I.e. the ratchet TV that we see all the time. Those women get a lot of viewers because that is what people want to see. They want to see drama. The reason why a lot of people tuned into the WNBA is because of a beef. That's the reason why. That's the reason why we started to see an uptick. Like, oh, there's beef between these two players. Oh, let's see what they're going to do next. That's why. And then they were like, oh, well, we're here, we're watching. Oh, they're actually good.
But like I said, but the thing is, I agree with that, Lady A. But you almost got to go to Malcolm X manner with that by any means necessary. Whatever you got to do to get the eyes to the TV. I'm just saying truthfully, if it was Caitlin Clark, or whether it was Angel Reese, or whether it was a fight how they was treating Angel Reese. Because the thing is, what you can't have is just the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky selling out games and moving to bigger arenas. But then you got the Washington Mystics. They barely got they barely got two benches behind them in there, or
well, they demoted them because they used to play at Capital One Arena.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They moved them out of Capital One to a small arena. Then you got the LA Sparks, who used to play at Crypto. I don't know if they still play at Crypto. You can't have just two teams generating 19,000 fans, 15,000 or more fans, and then the other team's generating 2,500.
That's pretty much what I said earlier about the next couple of drafts with these women coming in from college. That you should have talent being more dispersed. You should have some bigger names coming to different clubs. That's going to help fill these arenas up for these ladies. Lady A, since we're talking women's sports and we were talking about the Final Four, let's go ahead and get that Candace Parker info out there.
Yeah, so let me check the actual date. Because Candace Parker, for those who don't know her, Candace Parker, nickname Ace. She is one of the greatest WNBA players of all time. She played for the Los Angeles Sparks. She actually got drafted first overall in 2008. They will be retiring her jersey. So that's a big deal. Let me just get I can't find the date. I know it's coming up. Oh, June 29th. So her number 3 will be retired on June 29th. They just announced it a few days ago. For those who aren't sure, like, okay, well, who did she play with? She played with Lisa Leslie. She played with Sue Bird. You know, she played with a lot of greats. She was the little young kid coming in. And while we're sitting here talking about really good WNBA players, she is one to look into. If you are new to the WNBA scene, pull her up, Google her, look at some footage of her. I know a lot of men who are fans of hers, they might have a little crush on her, but she's a good player nonetheless. She might be a pretty girl, but she's also a really good player. So check that out. The Sparks will do that on the 29th. And let me see. And she's been kind of in the limelight recently because she's so active in the community. You'll see her speaking on different things. You'll see her pop up on podcasts and things like that. So check her out. That's about it.
All right. So this weekend we had MLB kickoff weekend, right? And I don't know if y'all saw it. I don't know if y'all know, but the Los Angeles Dodgers got better. They got better. They played your Atlanta Braves yesterday, and your Atlanta Braves. This is not jump on said day, but Said's Braves are 0-4 in the win category. And they got tatted up last night. Pretty bad. My question to everybody is, are we looking at an East Coast, West Coast World Series? Now, the Yankees
are looking good. Juice bats.
The Yankees with them, we're going to find out here. With them bats. With them bats. They are alive and well. What do y'all think about the East Coast Dodgers Yankees World Series? Is that what y'all see happening here?
4-1 Dodgers is not a
So let me just say this. I cannot say that we're gonna have what the World Series is gonna look like. First of all, the baseball season is like 5 years long. I cannot understand what by the time we get to the end of the baseball season, we're not gonna know. It may not be either one of them. We don't know. Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you.
I think the Dodgers might win 130 games this year.
Really? That's bold. That's a bold prediction. Now, I'm not here to say you're wrong because, if it was me, you would have told me I was wrong like you did with football season. But
still wrong.
Tell you, I was right. I was on the money, okay? But
I hate that.
But that's a very bold prediction. Tell us why you feel this way.
Because of what Pickett said, they got better. They won like 118, I think 115, 118 games last year, and they got considerably better. They got a better pitcher, more hitting, and they got the injuries they had last year. They got them players back, and they have a payroll that's being funded by a worldwide economy because they're working over a whole different pay system.
Right.
They got all this money that's been funneled into. I don't even understand how this works this way, but how they can have all this money from Japan being funneled in just directly into their organization.
Yeah.
So in the TV
contract, they still got a luxury tax.
They still got to pay it, but they don't care about paying it.
I'm just saying they still got a luxury tax.
Yeah, like I said, they have 3 players on their roster that make over $500 million.
Yeah. Guarantee money, guarantee your organization at some point. Anyway, back to what Pick saying earlier, he was talking about the bats. The thing he's talking about what's going on right now is they're called torpedo bats. The reason why they're being called torpedo bats, because they've been doing their thing. They've been swinging the bats and they've been hitting the ball. But what people don't understand is
it looks like a torpedo.
What people don't understand is only thing that they've done is customize the bat for a particular player. So, say for example, just an example, don't jump on the numbers, you're using a 25-inch bat, right? Your sweet spot for where you swing the bat is toward the end of the bat. So that's where they put most of the wood at. Right. So if your sweet spot for hitting the ball is 3/4 away to the end of the bat, that's where they put your sweet spot at. That's what people don't understand. See, now we may see more runs getting whacked out because now people understand what they're doing, and it's the copycat league.
Yeah.
Let me read it to you. It says the torpedo bat. It says the torpedo bat is named due to its shape resembling a torpedo. Yep. It's a customized bat that caters the barrel for each hitter. Going to the standard swell of the bat as it's replaced with more wood and the barrel shifted closer to the hands. It's all about locating hitters' so-called sweet spot and moving more wood to that area. And because every hitter's sweet spot is different, so too is their torpedo bat. And that's all they're doing.
That looks like
and it doesn't make it go further. It makes the launch angle higher. That's what it says.
Dude. You're gonna need a rocket up your butt to catch that one.
That's
what he said in Major League.
That's gonna be a fine.
Too long.
That's your boy said in Major League.
Okay, that's just a fine. That's gonna happen.
That's not a fine. That's a line from Major League. That's a line from Major League.
What this is a fine from Lady A.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. The Braves tend to start out slow at the beginning of the year, so I'm not really worried about the Braves yet.
Okay.
So
look, yesterday was the rookie from Cincinnati last year that lit the MLB up. He used his torpedo bat yesterday, and he hit his first 2 home runs. Right, just like said. Now these bats are designed from an engineer from the school from MIT. Right, that's where our so-called geniuses go to school at. Right. These bats are designed from an MIT graduate who, like said, is customized to every player. So my question now to you guys is this: is the pitchers in baseball had the advantage for such a long time? Al dropped off.
He had to run to let them Cowboys.
The pitchers had the advantage for such a long time. Is MLB going to do something to shift it back to the pitchers? Are these bats going to be banned, or should they continue to let them play with them?
It's a good question. They may just go ahead and allow them to use those bats. They know the one thing people want to do. People want to go to games to see runs batted in. The one game I went and watched, the Braves played it.
I was there.
There was a lot of runs batted in. We enjoyed that game. Texas Rangers may not enjoyed it, but this Atlanta Braves fan did. But realistically, that's what they want, because that's why the MLB has shortened the game to where people want to come watch, because pitchers usually get on there and take their time, walk around in circles, drop the ball, pick it up, kick the dirt, turn back around. I'm going to pitch it. No, I'm not. I'm going to pitch it. No, I'm not. It take all day, and it was drawing the game out. Now, you got a minute to get in there and set up. If you can't set up in a minute, oh, well, ball.
Mm-hmm.
So what? It's a 3-3 count. 3-2 count. Ball. He walked. He took too long. It's a buzzer, which made it. And then the game does go faster because of that. It does. And they're bringing some fans back because of that. They'll sit there, unless it goes extra innings. Then you're gonna be there for a minute. But now outside of extra innings, you like this game was over. Yeah, this game was over. We can get ready to leave now. This game is over. So. We'll see.
What do you think, Lady A? Do you like the bat? Do you think they're gonna come back and ban them? Do you think they're gonna keep it in the game?
I feel like if everyone can get a hold of the bat, then it'll be fair game. I do think that the people who are against it are the people who wish they had it. To have a bat that, so I used to play softball, right? And everybody, when you go to get your bat, you look for a specific bat that's good for you, right? So to have one that's made for you is key right there. So I think that, I think it's a good thing. As long as it's within their regulation and blah, blah, blah. I think it's a good thing, because I know the feeling, if you have a bat that you're not comfortable with, who knows what you about to do when you up the bat. But I think I like it. But I think that the people who are going to complain about it, who are going to be opposed to it, may be people who either they just suck, they don't have it in them anyway, or they just wish that they had the bat. Either or.
Right, Al.
I just kind of agree with what Lady A said. I mean, as long as it falls within the rules of the game in regards to requirements, and not like they hit it with aluminum bats and stuff like that, they still would. It makes sense. This is called what technology does.
Yes,
in every aspect, from sports. If this is where you hit the ball at most of the time, this is where we should put the greatest MOI. Yeah. I mean, it's like a golf club. Do the same thing with golf clubs. Yep. They pick the sweet spot, the best MOI, moment of inertia. If anyone that does that, that's where when it hits the ball, it causes the most impact to that ball in regards to distance. So they're just moving that. And it makes plenty of sense. And I think anything that adds excitement to baseball is a good thing to me. Because like you said, they did everything to speed the game up. And if you're not a baseball fan, it can be a tough watch.
Yeah,
the balls out. If you're hitting balls harder, further, and farther, and controversy sells as well, you bring more eyes there.
Yeah,
I think just what Al said, the technology had to catch up because nobody got upset when the pitchers, what they call the juice ball era for the pitchers. The pitchers using things on their hands and stuff like that is supposed to be illegal, but they have these other things that they can use. They're allowed to use on their hands to make the balls dance around a little bit more. So you have to make it fair for the hitters. It does. It should bring more eyes to the game. Offense does sell, right? So let's see who can do it. Mono with mono pitches, you got to get better. You got to change up some things.
Yeah. And keep in mind, it trickles down. What they use in the major league, you're going to start seeing this in colleges and high schools and little league and all of this. And I'm excited. Can
you imagine an aluminum torpedo bat?
You ain't hear me say that.
Woo.
I said, oh, that bat look carbon.
Oh, I heard that. I heard you say that. You say that.
Yeah, but I think that's a good thing.
Absolute genius for doing this. I think our last topic is this. I think our last topic is our March Madness sports movie bracket. Right? Did I say that right? March Madness sports movie bracket. Are we ready to do this? Ready?
We sure are.
I'm just saying, I do like the torpedo bat, but I'm ready to talk about these March Madness movies. Speaking of movies, there's a movie on Prime called, was it The Comeback Kids? The Comeback Kids. While you get ready, Lady A, I just want to talk about this real fast. I saw it. Right. So for those of you in the DMV, it's Pullen Middle School. It's a K through 8 school. It's on Prime. Look it up. It's called The Comeback Kids. Thomas G. Pullen, Pullen. These kids are from the DMV. They play basketball.
Yes.
You got to check it out. I started watching. I was like, hold on, man. I know the name of this school.
It's a performing arts school. I'm about to be in timeout with a whole big old fine. But it's a performing arts school in Prince George's County. We talk about PG County and it's how they weigh on sports. And so it definitely should be a good watch.
Give it a watch. It came out in 2024. I just ran across it today. So yeah, give it a watch. It's called The Comeback Kids. Come on, Lady A. We are down to our final four.
Yes.
Right now, right?
Yes.
We're down to our final four. The NCAA is down to their final four. We're down to our final four. Where we will be crowning a champ next Tuesday. So y'all know how this goes. Y'all votes about the count. All right.
Oh, sorry.
We started off with 32. We whittled that down to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8. We are at the Final Four now. Oh,
yep. I'm just giving everybody a reminder.
Just a quick reminder. Oh, and by the way, the program should still be in this bracket. Yes. However, we know some people hate it, and the program's gone.
All right. Here we go.
Right. Here we go. Get your voting fingers ready. Get ready to type it in. We're gonna start on our East bracket here. We got He Got Game versus Any Given Sunday. You got Denzel. You got Ray Allen as what was his name? Jesus Shuttleworth, right? We got Jesus Shuttleworth versus Jamie Foxx, Al Pacino, Lawrence Taylor, T.O.,
LL Cool J.
Jim Brown. In Any Given Sunday, you got one of the greatest lines ever spoken in Any Given Sunday. He Got Game, Jesus Shuttleworth playing this old man father and Denzel Washington. Get your votes in right now, people. Give them to me right now. We got Any Given Sunday, versus He Got Game. Get your votes in now. Let them count. Who's going to the finals? Who's cutting down the nets? We need to know. We need to say it voting ahead of time. He got somewhere to be. Say it got somewhere to be.
All right,
I'm just getting my votes in early.
And it's a Denzel shutout, according to Sid.
Oh,
he said Denzel, the buck stops right here.
Did too much, Denzel.
Hey, gotta do what I gotta do.
Right here. Look, come on now, get your votes in, Drew, Ron O'Neal. Get your votes in for the sports movie classic. Do we need to start calling people around here? Do I need to call some folks? Do I need to tell them we down to our Final Four? I will.
Yeah, what?
I'll let them know we down to the Final Four. They need to get their votes in before their votes don't count.
All right, Al, you gonna put yours in there?
I'm putting it in right now.
Al's waiting.
I'm struggling with this one, y'all.
I'm not.
I'm gonna struggle with. You see what's in there.
I just watched the two I'm about to tell y'all the other day. That's why they so fresh.
That's why you gonna vote for those too.
That's exactly why.
All right. I done put the call in. He Got Game and Logan. Y'all, come on, Drew. Why you voting ahead of time? I was voting ahead of time.
Oh, I thought it could be doing said.
That's what we was doing.
Don't y'all follow behind said.
What we doing? I thought we was voting.
We voting, but we voting on the east side of the bracket. I said we voting on the east side of the bracket. East side of the bracket.
So go ahead and did a double.
All right, so we got Any Given Sunday. That's 1, 2, 3 versus one He Got Game.
Right.
It's 3-1. What you going with, Pick?
That's not right.
Any Given Sunday. What we got here? You got the count, Lady A?
That's 4-1.
I voted twice.
I ain't vote twice. Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
That boy good.
Any Given Sunday versus He Got Game.
It's 4-1 right now.
Hey, where y'all at? Where your votes at? Make your votes count. Make your votes count.
You see, you got 3 or 4. Let me see. 1, 2.
It's 4.
No, don't cross them off yet.
Any Given Sunday's in the lead right now. Any Given Sunday's up. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Any Given Sunday's running. Pick. Stop texting people getting to vote for your movie. He Got Game. He got game. He's about to sit right next to Denzel.
Sunday already winning.
He gonna be right next to. He gonna be right next to Denzel and Training Day. What?
So Any Given.
No, I'm just telling them we voting for the movies right now. That's all I'm typing. Voting for movies right now. Voting for movies right now. So get it. Make your voice heard.
Go on there and vote for. That's what he said.
Nope, that's not what I'm telling them. I ain't afraid to show my text and who I'm texting. I said vote for movies right now.
We don't want to see all that now. We don't want.
I'm not afraid.
We don't want to see who you texting. It's fine.
We ain't got much time left.
I say Any Given Sunday.
There it is. Whoop, yeah. There it is.
Wait a minute.
Whoop, whoop, there it is.
Whoop, there it is.
All right. We good.
We're trying to fight it. Is Any Given Sunday for the win?
I'm just saying, listen, Any Given Sunday's winning, but the problem is this. The problem that I see is we only have 2 viewers that voted. We have 1 viewer that voted.
We have more than 1.
If you take Said out, you got Droopy that voted, you got Al that voted, you got Lady A that voted twice.
I only voted once.
Just now voted, right?
They not here, Pick. What you want me to say, Pick?
our viewers, we have more of us voting than our viewers. That's all I'm saying. Is our viewers are supposed to
choose. We can, and I think our viewers would go with Any Given Sunday, except for Droop. I'm sorry, Droopy.
Well, if it was just our viewers right now, it'd be 1-1. It'd be
all right. So we going with 1-1.
It'd be He Got Game and Any Given Sunday.
All right, so we going 1-1.
It's 1-1 right now, right?
Okay.
Because we haven't given our viewers a chance. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so who y'all got? He Got Game, Any Given Sunday.
Yes. So here,
Ron said Any Given Sunday. Okay, it's gonna keep going. You know,
it's Any Given Sunday. Any Given Sunday because I heard that voting twice is allowed.
It ain't.
Only for Lady A.
No, it ain't. Don't you put it? I said, don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
Uh-oh.
All right, so we got.
I think Any Given Sunday is going to take this right here.
We got 2-1.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Corey yet, so I wonder if Corey's going to vote. And then, of course, you know, if Corey votes, then his son votes, and then his wife has to vote. So
we not voting.
The baby.
No. We did. We voted. We did vote, but I just felt as if our audience needed their voice heard. So I wanted to give it a couple of more minutes because at that point in time, we only had one person from our audience vote.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm not saying that our votes don't count, but anytime it's more of us than it is our audience. You know, I just wanted to give the audience a shot. I just wanted to give them a shot. I think that time is gone. So Any Given Sunday's moving to the finals.
Yeah.
Any Given Sunday will have the chance to beat. Here's our last seat in the finals will be between Remember the Titans and The Longest Yard. Of course, you guys know this is a true story about T.C. Williams and Remember the Titans versus a prison team of, you know, ex-cons versus the guards when it comes to The Longest Yard. And we're talking about the remake with Adam Sandler, you know, Burt Reynolds, Chris Rock, Nelly, Terry Crews, Michael Irvin, you know, a couple of other people, you know what I mean? So star-studded crew, really good football. Okay, here we go.
We're not going to pay attention to John because what in the world?
Remember Any Given Titans on Sunday. Titans. Ronald Neal says Titans easy work, right? Garage. He cleans it up over here. He just says Titans.
And Droopy already gave his.
Droopy already said. What did he say?
He said Longest Yard.
Droop said Longest Yard. Okay. Lady A said Remember the Titans. I think she's trying to get Denzel to the finals. Longest Yard for me. I think Said put his in there too. Said put his in. What was Said's vote? He was the first one.
He said Longest Yard.
Said the Longest Yard.
Al put his in there.
Al said Remember the Titans. He's holding true to local neighborhoods. Lady A voted twice. She voted on both.
She did not.
She said Longest Yard and
I did not. I said Any Given Sunday and Remember the Titans.
What are you doing, John?
I'm still mad that he about the huge.
John getting the fine.
There you go, Sid. There you go. We left that alone. We left it in the past. We said goodbye to all that, Sid. Why you got to be the only one bringing up old stuff? You know what I'm saying?
He bringing up old stuff. That happened last week.
I guess you're gonna be a diehard Cowboy fan since Stills ain't got a quarterback, huh?
Oh man,
we'll talk about that next week, man. When Aaron Rodgers signs.
Oh, so you really ain't got a quarterback?
Oh man, poor Al.
Hey, well, how's this going? What's the score? What's the count on this, Lady A?
Huh?
What is the count?
So the count. Hold on.
Oh,
so we got Longest Yard. That's 1, 2, 3, and everybody else is remember the Titans.
Whoa. Let me see.
That's 4. 4 is that 4 to 3?
2 Youngest Yard. Hold on a second now. I'll make 3.
That's a fine too.
Who? John?
John.
Yes.
I said he got a fine.
Yes, I don't agree with you on that. See?
Oh well, I guess
I said
one,
43.
I guess 1 out of 2 for me ain't bad. 1 out of 2 for me ain't bad. These were my 2 movies, by the way.
Oh my God.
The Lonely Yard and Any Given Sunday, both of my 2 movies.
Yeah, remember we both had Any Given Sunday.
Yeah, but see, this is
We all
what
had
Stan
Any Given Sunday. That's
what
why
Stan
we
is
run
saying
the
is
top
he finally
6.
saw a movie that made the finals.
Everybody said that's why
But he said you saw Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's saying that.
He seen the movie that made the finals.
Buy to the program. That's all I need to know.
Oh,
hey, hold on. First off, I was watching the program before I watched the movie about the kids. I got to go back and finish up the movie with the kids. But I the DMV. I'm gonna represent the DMV. Oh, Swagger. Al, have you seen Swagger?
Nope.
Say it.
What? I haven't seen it, lady. What?
I ain't seen
We know you ain't seen it, lady. Say it.
It's on. What channel is it on?
Swagger was on Apple
on like
TV.
Apple TV or something.
It was on Apple TV. It was said, you know, you got that broken fire stick.
Whoa.
He does not.
What he said? He got no Cody. What did he say?
Wait a minute.
He does not.
It's a TV show called Swagger. Right? It's supposed to be about these kids that started playing basketball in C Pleasant in the DMV.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Okay.
It's on Apple TV. It has Ice Cube's son and O'Shea Jackson. O'Shea Jackson. He's the coach. Swagger's an excellent movie. Deals with a lot of things, a lot of issues. I'm gonna tell you something. There's a young lady in there also. She reminds me of Crystal Washington because she got buckets. So yeah. So Swagger. Check if you can find Swagger, watch Swagger. Amazing TV show about basketball in the DMV as well.
Okay.
So, Lady A, we got our final set for Tuesday, right?
Mm-hmm. Remember the Titans versus Any Given Sunday.
We got that next week.
You know, Remember the Titans was mine. I don't know why you keep saying that. Remember the Titans was mine.
Man, tell us how it was.
I was looking to check the record. Remember the Titans was mine.
Nice vote. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Nice vote.
Nice vote. Okay, cool. Listen, we'll be back. We will be back on Saturday. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're talking nothing but football on Saturday. So get your mind set for the draft because we're going to start talking players and where they need to go. All right. We're going to start talking players and where they need to go and where do you think the best fit will be. All right. Now, Washington's drafting at 29. The Cowboys are where they should be, right outside the top 10. But, we'll figure those things out as we figure those things out. But join us on Saturday. We get back to our roots where we talk NFL and we start talking draft. All right?
Okay.
We'll see you guys then. Until then, be safe. Thank you for watching First Screen Podcast. For Lady A, for Sid, for Al. Don't forget to like and subscribe to First Screen Podcast. Hit the bell to enable alert for new content just like this. Say it. Did we cover it all?
Yes, we did. We covered it.
And y'all know what I'm about to say. Shout out to my son, United States Air Force. First Thing Podcast, second to none. Come get some. Tell them, say it.
Go Dogs.
Go Cowboys.
Raise hell.
It's wartime, baby. This what you signed up for. This what we worked hard for. You for. Y'all the first string. Y'all gotta go set the tone now. Hey, let's go. Lace them up. It's the First String Podcast show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the First String Podcast show. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Hey, let's go. 'Cause it's time for the First String Podcast show. Hey, let's go. Lace them up. It's the First String Podcast show. Hey, let's go. They spit off the mic, you know we gonna be wildin'. Last but not least, it's my man Toothpick. Commanders is a squad and he the captain of the ship. So if you feel the vibe, go ahead and tune in. Like, subscribe, recommend to a friend. Nah, for real, like,